Every year, the mayor of Omaha presents a budget to the city council. The city council speech is typically fairly non-controversial. That was not the case this year. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Griswold. The Black Lives Matter movement has put pressure on local leaders to pull funding from police departments and reallocate the funds elsewhere. Mayor Jean Stothert says she will not do that. Instead, she's increasing the city budget. Reporter John Kipper tells us why Stothert is raising the budget and what else she has in it.
Defunding the Omaha Police Department would be irresponsible and reckless, and I will not do it.
Mayor Jean Stothert says she does not want to defund the police department. Over a dozen people at the city council meeting didn't like that, protesting vocally before getting kicked out.
Defund the police!
Defund the police!
Defund the police!
Defund the police! Give the money to teachers!
The mayor's budget includes a modest 1.2% increase to the police budget. In a press conference earlier in the day, Stothert said that money will be spent on body cameras and ensuring there's enough officers on the street. She argued that adding around 100 police officers in the last few years has helped reduce crime.
These numbers of officers and how we have managed the police department has certainly worked, and it has made Omaha a much safer city.
She then said the process of actually moving funds away from the police department would take years.
You can't just take, a bunch of police officers and lay them off and say, oh, we're going to start thinking about some programs. You got to have those first, and you got to prove that they work before you could ever say that we don't need as many police officers as we have now.
Looking at the rest of the budget, the mayor is not calling for any tax increases or decreases. The general fund is up 4.5% from 2020. One big reason for that is a new trash contract, which will cost the city around $10 million more than they're paying this year. After voters passed a bond issue in May, the mayor is adding $40 million to the street project budget. Stothert made the budget as if the pandemic will be over by January 2021, saying there is some flexibility built into the budget. Councilmember Pete Festerson is a bit worried the coronavirus could throw off the budget again.
I think the answer is nobody knows, but I think it's tough to do a budget this far out. But I am concerned that sales tax and property tax revenues and restaurant tax revenues may not be what we're used to.
Now, Mayor Stothert is creating next year's budget, while this year's budget is in the midst of a $56 million budget shortfall. Douglas County has lots of money from the CARES Act that they could potentially give to the city, but the city of Omaha doesn't know when and if they're getting money. Today, Stothert says they need to know by the end of the month before they potentially could have to lay off workers. Reporting in Omaha, John Kipper, 3 News Now.
City Council will hold a hearing on the mayor's budget on August 11th.